Close formation is the basic default formation that will be used most of the time for most units. You can adjust the unit depth and width to account for the different purposes each unit serves. Do you need to brace for a cavalry charge? Then choose a deeper formation. Would you rather wrap around the flanks of the enemy unit and get as many soldiers into combat as possible? Then go with a wider formation. You get the idea. As an aside, in a previous video where I was discussing hold formation, I forgot to mention that engagement mode grants +2 morale to that unit. So when you're looking for a unit to play a defensive role, it would be best to keep it at around 4 ranks deep at least, and then put it on hold formation. Loose formation will put some separation in between the individual soldiers in a unit. The main purpose of this is so that a unit will take less casualties from ranged fire. Be careful though, being in loose formation automatically causes a unit to lose 2 morale. So they will take less casualties from ranged fire, but they will also be closer to breaking. In certain situations, though, this is still worth it because a unit will lose much more than 2 morale if it takes enough casualties. Keep in mind though that you won't want to always have your skirmishers on loose formation. Loose formation will spread your unit out and they will therefore end up taking up more space. This means that when you have a range advantage, then you're going to want to be causing as many casualties as possible with your ranged assets. The best way to do this is to focus fire individual enemy units. It is more difficult to do this when you have your skirmishers all spread out. Space on the battlefield is limited, and space on advantageous terrain features such as high ground is also limited. If you have the range superiority, then it would be better to keep them in close formation so that they can take up as little space as possible, and then you can make sure that every soldier in the unit is able to fire on its target. Also, you can fit as many units as possible into the firing range of the preferred target. If you are at a ranged disadvantage, loose formation can be very useful because then you're mitigating one of the enemy's strengths. So keep your skirmishers in loose formation ahead of your main army as they advance and as they prepare to close with the enemy. This way your melee elements can reach the enemy while taking as few casualties as possible on the approach. If you decide to use this approach, then you will find that your skirmish elements will have an easier time retreating back through its protective elements. Or if you'd rather use your skirmishers in loose formation to blunt the enemy charge, then your melee elements will have an easier time moving through your skirmishers in loose formation in order to engage the enemy.